Now, would you be capable of riding a bike for a mile with multiple sclerosis?
Campaigners in Melbourne have built the symptoms of MS into a bicycle to increase understanding of the condition, which would be an amazing challenge. Reporter Robert Baird took this bike for a spin.
This looks like a pretty regular bike, but I have to say I'm more than a little nervous about getting in the saddle. Here to explain what's been done to this bike is Paralympian road cyclist Carol Cook. Carol, hi.
Hi Robert, how are you?
So, before we go any further, you were diagnosed about 18 years ago with MS, and
Yes.
but since then you've won a Paralympics gold medal, you've been a 5-time world champion. What did you have to deal with during your training and competition?
Oh look, I don't think I deal with anything much different than a normal athlete would deal with. And I like to think of myself just as an athlete, with a few little twerks here and there. There are a few things that are different for me. I'm heat intolerant. I don't have balance, so I actually don't ride a 2-wheel bike. I ride a 3-wheel bikes.
And some of the symptoms of the condition are built into this bike here. Can you talk me through what the mechanics have done to this thing?
Yes, well, first of all, it actually looks like a normal bike, and that's to mimic MS. I mean, most people would see me and think, well, what's wrong with you? Because MS is a hidden disease. We'll start at the front. The wheels are what we call untrue. So that makes balance a little bit harder because the bike will be a bit wobbly itself. In the back cogs, they've taken some teeth out. So if you go and try and shift to a different gear, it's not going to respond the way you want it to respond. It might jump a gear.
Does that mimic in some way how your muscles behave sometimes?
Oh, definitely. There's times where I'll be lying in bed, my legs will be flying, doing their own thing. Whoever rides this bike at the MS Melbourne Cycle is going to find that they're using muscles that just aren't normal for riding a bike, and they're going to have to counterbalance a few things, which is what we do in life with MS. We have to find a way to get around those symptoms and counterbalance everything that's happening.
Well, I'll just have to give it a ride then. Wish me luck. Safety first. That is very uncomfortable to ride and extremely heavy. I'd be lucky enough to make it 50 metres on this thing. But MS is looking for somebody to ride this 50 kilometres on the MS Melbourne Cycle, which is coming up on March 6.
Great idea, actually, and literally putting someone in the seat of what it's like to live and ride with MS.
The hard yakka. Robert Baird, thank you very much for that.